Let's take a look at this function question. We have the function f being defined to be fx equal to x modulus of x minus 3, and the domain is between 2 inclusive and 3 exclusive. Part 1. Explain with a sketch why the inverse function exists. So we're going to use our GC to sketch out the graph, and once we have the sketch, we can see that we are going to use a horizontal line test to show that it is a one-to-one function. So as long as for a single value of x between the domain defined by the question, there's only one output, then it will be a one-to-one function, and hence the inverse function exists. We're going to use our GC to sketch out the graph first. I'm going to use this function from the GC, which is called a piecewise function, because by using a piecewise function, it can allow us to key in both the expression together with the domain. So we will just get the actual graph being specified by the question. So we're going to press X, then alpha window to get this modulus sign, x minus 3. And the domain is between 2 and 3. So 2 to get the inequality sign, we're going to press second math to trigger this test. So we are going to press 6x. And we are supposed to put a lesser than 3. But if we were to put a lesser without the equal sign, when we want to use the value function to find that particular point, the GC will give us an error. We're going to just use the lesser or equal sign. Anyway, it doesn't make a difference from the sketch from the GC. So usually I will just use with the equal sign, whether if it's a lesser or equal. But we just need to remind ourselves we are supposed to include that particular point. So we're going to use second test, number 6 and 3. So now we are going to graph it. So this is the zoom in version of the graph. If you find that the graph is very tiny, just do a zoom in at a particular area you want to focus on. So in this case, we will get our graph that looks like this. So x, y axis. So this point we're supposed to include, and this point we are supposed to exclude. So to get this particular point here, we're going to press trace, then number 2. So this coordinate will just be a 2, 2. To get this coordinate, we're going to press trace 3. This point here will give me a 3, 0. So y equal to fx. So you can see if we were to use a horizontal line, y equal to k, it will only cut the graph at only one point everywhere. So we can do our conclusion for this part already. From the graph, a horizontal line, y equal to k, a general line, where k belongs to the range of f, cuts the graph at only one point. Therefore, f is a one-to-one function, and this will imply that f inverse exists. In part 2 of this question, now we have shown that f inverse exists, and now we are supposed to find both the expression and the domain of it. So for the expression for f inverse, we are first going to let our y to be equal to x modulus x minus 3. But we are not able to express x in terms of the rest if we never get rid of this modulus sign. But according to the question, we know that our x domain, right, is between 2 and 3. So if x is between 2 and 3 for this modulus, right, we are supposed to take the negative portion of this one, because for modulus, it must always be positive. So if we were to take a value that is between 2 and 3 when you sub inside, the value within the modulus sign will be a negative value. So we are supposed to add an extra negative to make it positive. That is to fit into the definition of the modulus. So in this case, if we were to remove this modulus, I'll end up with a x bracket 3 minus x by putting a minus in the modulus. So then I multiply the minus in, I'll just flip this. Right, so this will be the expression we're going to use to try to make x in terms of y. We're going to expand out. So we have a y equal to 3x minus x squared. There are two ways of doing this. First, by using completion of square. The other way, we can use the quadratic formula. I'm going to go for the quadratic formula. So I'm going to make it into the ax squared plus bx plus c form. So we have x squared minus 3x plus y equal to 0. So using the ax squared plus bx plus c quadratic equation, we have x equal to minus 3 plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Let's simplify a bit. We have a 3 plus minus square root of a 9 minus 4y over 2. And in this case, again, we are supposed to choose one of the equation. Is either the plus or minus. And if you were to refer back to the value of x that it can satisfy for this expression, I will be probably going to take the positive part, because if I were to take the negative part, then the value of x will fall outside this particular range here. Let me just write it out. So it's 3 over 2 minus square root of a 9 minus 4y over 2, or 3 over 2 plus square root of 9 minus 4y over 2. So you see, if I were to take a negative part, this is 1.5. Then 1.5 minus always positive value, definitely it falls outside. So this is the part I don't want. So in this case, this will be the expression that I want. I'm now going to write down in probably a similar form defined by the question. So my f inverse x will just be equal to a 3 over 2. I'm going to replace our y back with x. So it's square root 9 minus 4x over 2. And I'm going to put in the domain of my f inverse. And the domain of f inverse can be obtained from the range of my original function of f. So you can see the range will just be from 0 to 2, excluding 0 and inclusive of 2. So at the side, I can just write domain of f inverse will be excluding 0 and inclusive of 2. It's now given that we have a piecewise function of gx defined to be 2x minus 2 between 0 to 2 and 10 minus 2x over x plus 1 between 2 and 4 exclusive. So in this function gx, which is a piecewise function, we are going to use our GC to sketch it out. So from our GC, again, we can make use of a piecewise function. So in this case, we are going to select two pieces, and I've already keyed in already. So for our domain for the first one, both are inclusive. So I include with both equal sign. For the second equation, right, I will be excluding 2 and 4. But in our GC, I will still be including 2 and 4. So as mentioned just now, because when we want to use our GC to find that particular coordinates, when we are using the trace function, if with the equal sign, then it will not give us the error. If you exclude it, it will not give us the particular value here. So we just need to remind ourselves that we are supposed to exclude that particular point. Right? So after we sketch it, it will look like this. And if we want to get a clearer view, we can make use of a zoom box to focus on the area that we are interested in. So we are going to mark out the box here. Okay, so now we are going to sketch it. So we have x and y, and this will be our line, and the graph will probably end somewhere here. All right, so let's mark out some of the key points. I'm going to try to start off with the point x equal to 0. So when x equals 0, I can see that this point here will give me a coordinates of 0, minus 2. In this case, we are supposed to include, so we are going to bold it. So to find this point, we're going to press trace 2, which give me a coordinates of a 2, 2. In this case, we are not going to put an open circle or a bold, because this will just be a continuous curve, because there's an overlapping between the value of 2 on top and the value of 2 below, right? So it will just produce a particular output here, right? And the final coordinates we're going to label will just be when x is equal to 4, which give me a coordinate of a 4 to 5. In this case, because we are supposed to exclude, so we are going to put an open circle. So this will be y equal to our gx. In part 4 of this question, we are supposed to find the composite function of a g f x. And for the composite function of a g f x, in this case, right, it's not very direct because we are dealing with an equation that is of a piecewise, right? But if we were to understand what this composite function is about, right, basically, it's actually we are going to use the output of f to fed into the input of my g. So if you look at this case, right, the output of this one is the range of f. So the output of this is the range of f, which is defined to be from 0 to 2 inclusive, right? So this particular value 0 to 2, right, will actually be fed into the outer function, which is the g in this case. But if you were to ask me, right, you can see that actually we are not going to concern ourselves with the second expression because this 0 to 2 can be completely well received by the first equation, which is defined to be between 0 to 2. So this value can be completely fit within the first expression. So that means to say I don't even need to concern about this second expression already. So for our equation of this one, I'm just going to use y equal to x over 3 minus x to go into the second expression, which is the outer function. So it will just be 2x bracket 3 minus x minus of 2. And when we simplify, the equation we'll just get for our g f x will just be equal to 2 bracket minus x squared plus 3x minus 1. Right, so in future, right, if you happen to see a range of the first function, let's say from 0 to 4, then in this case, right, we need to break it apart and we need to consider separately. 0 to 2, we will be using the first one. 2 to 4, we'll be using the second one. And it ends up that the composite function will also be a piecewise function. But in this case, luckily for us, it will just be one single equation only. So for part 5, we are supposed to find the range of GF. And finding the range of GF, there's two ways. Either we can draw the graph of GF with the respective domain, or we can use the pasting or the mapping method. I'm going to use the pasting method. So in this case, to find the range of my GF, we are going to take the range of the first function. The range will be pasted into the input of the outer one, right? That is basically what does the composite function means, because the output will be fed into the input. So in this case, the output will be from 0 to 2. So this 0 to 2 will be pasted into the input of the second function. So in this case, it will be from 0 to 2. And for this particular domain, we are going to look at what will be the output being produced. So in this case, it will be from here to here inclusive. So this is excluding, this is inclusive. So we can see that this particular output, right, will be the range of my composite function. So we can just simply read out from the graph. The range will just be from -2 exclusive and inclusive of 2.